Welcome to Friday Morning Dharma on November 7th. Let's go ahead and settle in for some meditation. Meditation is defined as a mind that focuses on a virtuous object and is a main cause of inner peace. So please give yourself full permission to turn yourself over completely to meditation this morning. Give yourself permission to plant seeds which will ripen at some point in the form of a peaceful experience for you. Balanced, grounded, stable, silent, and still like the mountain. Moment by moment, phenomena are undergoing change. It's not that things change or that things will change. It is that things are in the process of changing moment by moment by moment. The people participating in this meditation right now are not the same as the people who sat down a few moments ago. Meditation on impermanence is an extremely powerful method for overcoming the painful and sometimes harmful mind of desirous attachment. That's because if you recognize that the object of your attachment is in the process of changing, dissolving, and disappearing, then that means that the basis for the mind of attachment is also necessarily changing, dissolving, and disappearing. Please know this truth about wisdom realizing impermanence. If you perfect your practice of wisdom realizing impermanence, you will never suffer again in this lifetime. A monk once made the following statement. He said, "In my 20 years of wearing the robes of an ordained monk, I have learned this one fact. All that arises ceases. This I know." So I'd like you now to please rest with these words, all that arises ceases, as a pointer toward the truth of impermanence. If you'd like, please feel free to conjoin your practice of meditation on the inner body while silently repeating to yourself, all that arises ceases. All that arises ceases. Embody this mantra by allowing the syllables of the mantra to absorb into your form. In so doing, you will have a direct, non-conceptual experience of this truth. All that arises ceases. All that arises ceases. Through meditation on the inner body, become one with this truth. Please start to deepen your breath. Become aware of this collection of parts we've agreed to label physical body, and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the weight of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of physical body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. And we dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception soon come to enjoy an abundance of pure air and water, delicious, nutritious food, safe, warm, dry, reliable, affordable shelter, and comfortable, functional, attractive clothing. And with everyone's basic needs met, may we all enter and progress on wisdom paths that lead to complete cessation of all forms of suffering. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome back. So, that meditation that we did, conjoining meditation on the inner body with, I think, basically an object of meditation or another object of meditation, in this case, the words or mantra, if you will, all that arises ceases. This is a practice that we're going to see more and more as we start to wade into the 21 Lam Rim meditations. Um, and this meditation is such a gift. It's so powerful because it gives us a means for realizing or actualizing some of these Dharma teachings, some of these Dharma views, right? Realization. What is a realization? Making it real for us. We can't think our way into realizing something. We can't think, I say it over and over, we can't think our way into being happy. We can't think our way out of suffering. We can't think our way into being more compassionate. We can't think our way into loving. Some of us have been down this path thinking that we can think, get in a new relationship, potential for a new relationship. Well, the spark isn't really there, but, maybe I can sort of come around. We might not have had the exact thoughts, but I can think my way into loving this person. How did that end for you if you've been down that path? Don't answer. Don't answer that. Through the body, we experience. We experience directly without thought, without thinking. The body doesn't think, it simply experiences, right? With through nose and ear and sound and all the rest, we take in We take in phenomena, smells, sounds, and so forth directly without the filter of thought. And therefore, we realize these things. We do the same thing with Dharma views, Dharma teachings, Dharma messages through the body, like embody these teachings or these ideas, and we realize them. They become real for us. It's amazing. It's an amazing technology, for lack of a better term, technology of the mind. So, um, remember, I don't, do some of you guys remember on Monday's class when there was like one aspect of meditation, one benefit of meditation, I couldn't remember what it was. Well, of course, it came back to me like 8 seconds after our class ended. And, I'm actually pleased that I couldn't remember it. Maybe it's kind of like this divine intervention sort of thing, because I wouldn't have had time to talk about it had I remembered what it was. And it's one of the most important reasons for us to meditate. And that is that meditation is a means through which we keep the Dharma fresh in our mind, fresh and new and vibrant. I mean, if you guys haven't already experienced this with our Monday, Friday classes, you will. You're going to start hearing some of the same teachings over and over, right? I mean, there is a, how to put this? There are a limited number of Dharma teachings that we will be able to address in these classes. There's a limited amount of Dharma that I know, right? I'd like to tell you I know all 84,000 teachings. Even if I did know all 84,000 of the Buddha's teachings, that's a finite number. And eventually you would start hearing the same teachings over and over, right? And it's like, oh, he's talking about karma again, right? I get it about karma. Can we move on to something new? Oh, impermanence, he talks about that too. I already know that too. With meditation, we change our relationship with these Dharma objects, these Dharma teachings. We change our experience of them, we change our relationship with them, and they remain fresh. Remain fresh and new. And I would just invite you to think back, like reflect on some Dharma teachings that you've had that really moved your mind, like really moved your mind, really changed your life. I thought about a couple for me. One was the difference between love and attachment. When the first time I heard, and this was years ago, maybe back like 1999, the first year that I had an interest in the teachings of Buddha, my very first teacher said, attachment is wanting someone else to be the source of your happiness, whereas love is wishing for another to be happy. And I was just like, whoa, that is like, just like this whole world opened up for me in terms of relationships, not just romantic relationships, but relationships with everybody, coworkers, romantic interests, family members, attachment. I want you to be the source of my happiness. That means I want you to act in certain ways and say certain things. And if you don't act in that way or use those words, then you're going to become the enemy, right? You're going to be a source of aversion for me. That's not love, right? Love is other focused. I want you to be happy. I wish for your happiness. And it was just such a revelation for me, such a huge revelation for me. And through meditating on this, we can go deeper, or, whether that's kind of the thing that floated your Dharma boat or some other insight, meditation, or impermanence, or compassion, or whatever it might be. Impermanence, right? It's not just that, oh, I understand that that mountain is, changing and, dissolving, but it's like I remember another time a teacher said in a formal teaching, he said, the person starting this sentence is not the same person who is ending this sentence. And I was like, oh, that is so amazing and so profound and opens up so many possibilities. Um, if we don't meditate, if we don't train our mind, these insights, these teachings, these experiences will become stale and we'll go to, oh, he's already talked about this. Yeah, I already know this, you know, as opposed to, wow, this is this. I know I've heard these words, but I'm having a different feeling about them. Through meditation, the Dharma keeps changing. It keeps changing and remains fresh and helps us, helps us to be free of our difficulties. That's the that's the big thing. That's the thing I forgot, couldn't remember last class, and sort of glad I didn't remember because it's like deserves its own class. One other thing that I wanted to say with regard to refuge, remember me talking to you about refuge, not just understanding these teachings, but taking refuge in them, to maybe stimulate some contemplation for you in terms of how to take refuge or why to take refuge in the three jewels of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Think about what you're taking refuge in now. Sort of ask yourself, what am I taking refuge in now? You know, entertainment, movies, you know, certain relationships, podcasts, right? Podcasts, inanimate objects, situations, environments, people. Did I say inanimate objects? Inanimate objects, yeah. What do all of these things have in common? They're changing, right? They're always changing, dissolving, and disappearing. So if we stop and think about it, it's kind of, I mean, it's okay for us to enjoy. No, nobody's saying don't enjoy our relationships and don't enjoy the podcasts and the shiny blingy things that we like to wear, or whatever, your bicycles, whatever. We're not saying don't enjoy these things, but there's a difference between enjoying them and taking refuge in them. Why? Because all products change. And we're seeing this right now. I'm going to cite a couple of examples that may sting a little bit. Democracies change, right? Democracies are not valid objects of refuge because they are subject to change. They are changing, dissolving, and disappearing. Even a healthful environment. You know, clean water, clean air, a reliable climate, changing, dissolving, and disappearing. So you might be thinking, wait a minute, you just said that if I meditate on the Dharma, then it will remain fresh. That's like the Dharma is changing, right? So these other things are changing, and you're saying don't take refuge in those because they change, yet the Dharma is changing. The difference is that through Dharma we have wisdom and we're aware of its changing. It's changing as a result of our mind, of our mental relationship with these things. Have you ever heard the Zen story where two monks are arguing about a flag that's waving? Have you heard this one? Yeah. So there's a flag up there that is like, on a flagpole, like moving. And one monk is saying, it's the flag that's moving. And the other one's saying, no, 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 it's the wind that's moving. And the Zen master comes by and says, no, it's your mind that's moving. Right. It's kind of that way with Dharma things changing. Yes, the Dharma changes because our relationship changes with it, but it's changing because our mind is changing it, and we're aware of that. So much difference there between looking at the US democracy and saying, oh my gosh, it's changing, dissolving, and disappearing, like of its own accord. I'm just an innocent bystander here, having nothing to do with what's happening. No, it's our mind that's changing it. And there's freedom that comes from that realization. So that's why I am confident in saying the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha jewels are the term is qualified objects of refuge into which we can seek refuge from the sufferings of samsara and everything, the changing world around us. Okay. You're most welcome. Thanks, you guys. Where did that come from? Um, have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Thank you for being here. Bottom
Thank
of
you
my
so
heart.
much, Jeff. And as far
Thank
as
you.
and as far as I'm concerned, you can't repeat the teachings enough.
Oh, thank you.
Ah.
It's prostrate to your fresh perspective, Tina. Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.